Reddit ask me anything. I am a former Army Ranger sniper with 33 confirmed kills in Afghanistan. Ask me anything. My name is Nicholas Irving and I'm a former Link Army Ranger with multiple combat deployments to both Iraq and Afghanistan. During my service within the 75th Ranger Regiment, I served as an assaulter, heavy and light machine gunner, and designated marksman. I was the first African American to serve as a sniper in my battalion and am now the owner of Hardshots, where I train personnel in the art of long-range shooting, from Olympians to members of the Spec Ops community. Who should play you in the movie when it comes out? LOL. I have no idea. If it were to happen, who would you say? I think Daniel Day-Lewis would be able to really get the silent scenes when you're looking through the scope better than anyone else in Hollywood. So he's my vote. When the going gets tough, Rangers get going. Any regrets? Have you missed out on something or this has given you all you wanted from life? I wish I would have stayed in to be around the guys. Don't miss anything else but having the brotherhood. I had a chance to be around the best individuals and it's hard to leave that. If you had to choose one movie that most accurately describes what it's like to serve overseas, what would it be? Did Jarhead get it right? Finally someone who doesn't hate that movie. Another question for you. In movies they usually just have a sniper/spotter team alone on some rooftop. Is there usually other people protecting you guys? Obviously don't go into detail for safety reasons. I'm just curious if you guys are proactive about enemies attacking your position. Most of the time it was just me and my spotter. A few occasions we had to split up. We did use a guy or two sometimes to watch our back as well. Just depended on the mission. After your experiences with the death of close friends and inflicting death on others, what is the best advice can you give civilians on how to live? Don't live it day by day, live it second by second. I honestly find that advice scary, coming from a sniper. Just joking. Link, have you ever seen the 2001 film Enemy at the Gates? Any thought about it? Being a sniper looks like it's much more calculated and thought out than being in a close-up situation. Would you say that having time to consider the kills before doing the deed affected you differently than others in different situations? Definitely. Most of my kills happened in a few seconds. The ones where you take time to look at them, you feel something. Not sure what it was, but it was just a strange feeling. Almost like a few seconds of shock or something. Hard to explain. Now that you're done, how do you deal with the lack of adrenaline? I know some people cannot find a good source to spice up their life. Or do you have something that really helps you? A lot of exercise and working with my dogs. The rush took a few years to somewhat fade, but it is still there. What kind of education or training do you receive to become a sniper? How were you chosen for that position? I started off in the sniper section selection, where the mental levels take place and they want to see your efficiency with the weapon. After that, US Army Sniper School. Then we were sent to a few private sniper courses, high angle, LR precision, etc. Was 33 pretty spread out over your career, or was there a cluster where you were on fire, so to speak, that came all at the same time? It was over the course of around 100 days. My on fire day I had 4 or 5 in a few hours. Whoa, here I'd been reading this imagining this being over the course of a few years, but 100 days, and 5 in a few hours? That's crazy. Definitely earned that nickname. Ha, you seem like a really awesome guy, too. Maybe Clint Eastwood should have made a movie about you instead. You probably hear this non-stop, but seriously, thank you for what you've done for this country. I know it's hard to have to go out there and take another man's life, but America wouldn't be here today without men like you. Oh, almost forgot. I did have a question. If the Ask Me Anything is still going, that is, did you ever go out after specific targets? Or was it more of a we've found enemies and now we're going to shoot them kind of thing? Do you like being retired better? Or do you miss your time as a sniper? I miss it, but luckily I shoot almost every day and get a chance to train others. I miss the rush sometimes, but life outside being home is better. I'd still go back in a heartbeat if were needed. Interesting. I hear a lot of people who say they won't go back after the PTSD. Interesting that you actively enjoyed it. Do you think that as a sniper you are away from the carnage and bloodshed, so it didn't affect you as much as say, a boom tech? Also, why did you leave? I was an assaulter and machine gunner for a few years on a few deployments before my time as a sniper and employed those weapons as well. Being a sniper didn't mean I was always far away. My closest shot as a sniper was less than 30 feet away. I left because my time was up and just wanted to see what else was in the world. How do you feel about those kills? Do you have any regrets? What kind of rifles did you use and what are your favorites? I used the SR-25 mainly. My favorite would be the .300 in I chassis, REM 700, and M40A5. Nicholas, first off, thank you for your service. I've seen you in the news recently and have to say you seem like a very classy person. Even when Michael Moore was attacking your profession, you kept it together. Kudos. As a person who recently got into hunting, last 3 years, I want to get better at my long range shooting. I've recently picked up a Weatherby Mark V in 3378 and have developed a custom load. I've been able to get a deer out to 600 yards. I have the simple bullet drop ballistics worked out to 1000 yards, even though I don't have the practice in for that yet. I may even want to get into competitive long range shooting, as it is an incredibly fun sport. What are some tips pointers that I can use to become a better shot and reach out further? Any tricks of the trade that might be unknown to a savvy non-sniper? Really start studying how the bullet operates under different temps. Also read up on density altitude. Bullets love it when the DA is high. Are people usually dead on impact when you shoot them or do you have to wait it out sometimes? Most of them died instantly. There were a few that ran for a few feet. What made you get through every kill? I'm sure it was not easy. Usually just not thinking about it at first, or not talking about it. Usually before bed I'd watch a movie on my portable DVD player. Hancock, Rambo and Taken 1 were my favorites. Do you know the story's background of any of the 33 men you sniped? Or were the orders strictly he's our enemy, get it done? Most were IED guys who decided they had a far fight and wanted to give it a shot. Some were small-time leaders in a specific region. What do you consider your most successful kill? Probably a shot that I took where the math I used was wrong. The first shot missed but the second connected using a holdover. What was worse? Basic training or actual service? Also, do you look back on your service with nostalgia or regret? Service for sure. Basic was more of a shock of being away and getting yelled at. Maintaining the job once I was in was the hard part. Looking back I loved every minute of it and the guys who were around me. Did you ever get a really hard shot and were happy you succeeded? Oh yes. I've only had 2 or 3 shots that were considered long, but after connecting was pretty cool. My spotter had the longest shot at deployment, a little over $1,000 with his .300. Can you explain a little about how you manage to use math and physics while in such a stressful situation? Are you actually calculating things? A lot of training prior, but shortening equations to where you can do them in a second paid off a lot. How did you feel the moment you first took the life of another human? In shock and scared, to be honest. My first deployment at 18. Do you feel you lack empathy for other people, or has your empathy to feel for others decreased since taking on this sniper mission? Negative. I've always been a friendly guy, or at least try to be. Being a sniper was a job. It didn't make me feel anything different about people. Were any of your kills against another sniper trying to hit you? Almost. My recon team had been pinned down for 3 hours against a really good sniper. He had a good position and was really hard to hit. We didn't get him, but a couple of years later I heard that UNSAS team killed him. How do they recognize who is who and such? Is it from heavy surveillance? As in, how did they know that the sniper that was killed was the same one that was pinning you down? That's a good question. Because of who the unit was who got him. The workup and how they gather things is top notch, but really not sure what they do to gather that intel. Maybe don't admit that on the internet. Can you tell us about those challenges and why people fail? There were some pretty good docs from Discovery a while back about them. I'm not sure if they're still current, but from what I learned from the documentary, stalking, camouflage yourself perfectly, make your way to a truck a mile away where 2 of your instructors are sitting, make it to them and take a shot at them with a blank without them seeing. Once a shot rings out, a third instructor out in the field will find the shooter and stand within 10 feet of them. The two in the truck will try to find the shooter and direct the third to him. If they do it right, the shooter has to go back and start over. If they don't pin him, the two in the truck hold up 2 cards and the shooter has to read one of them to prove he does have a clear view of the truck, as opposed to cheating by hiding somewhere where neither people can see each other. If he gets it wrong, back to the starting line. If he gets it right, he has to take one more shot. If the two in the truck still can't spot you, you pass. Oh, and this is all timed. Final shot. You have 2 tries to hit a target of unknown distance out on the range. You have to range and adjust by yourself without a spotter. If your first shot miss, you are given only several seconds to follow up. If both miss, you're out. If you hit one, you pass. That wouldn't help me. I wouldn't even be done pooping and I would just run away. And ha. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking link. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.